Hey everyone, welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I am Peter, that is Tim. We are working our way through Tales from the Crypt. This is going to be season 5, episode 11. It is called Oil's Well That Ends Well. So full spoilers for the episode, as always. This one is notable because John Cassier, who voices the Crypt Keeper, is actually in the episode. Which honestly I thought was kind of distracting because at one point he did this laugh to make it clear that, oh, you know it's the Crypt Keeper because that's the laugh. And I went, I just felt weird. I just felt kind of... It's fine for when it's the puppet Crypt Keeper. When it's an actual person doing that laugh, it's like, oh, that just feels really cheesy and silly.
Yeah, to be fair, like he's not in it like that much. Like
Oh,
I didn't
sure,
even really
yeah.
register it for his, first little scene in the beginning, and it isn't really into, full view until it's kind of last scene at the end. But it is distracting once he comes out and it is really doing it up.
And just in case you didn't get it, the final Crypt Keeper segment really drives it home and, tells you like 5 times, isn't it funny? The Crypt Keeper's like, I really like that guy. Something about his voice, he sounds great. I think I must have seen him in something. Like, it's just all these jokes. It's like no subtlety whatsoever. But so the plot of this episode is that we have a con man and a con woman, played by Lou Diamond Phillips and Priscilla Presley, who have conned someone out of some money at the start, and then they come up with this big scheme to con a group of guys in this small town out of money by claiming there's oil under the graveyard, and they convince them to like chip in money to because they pretend like Lou Diamond Phillips is a he's going to report it to his company, so they'll come and get the oil, but they're paying him off so that he won't dare tell them, so they have a chance to kind of get it ready first, and blah 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 blah. I feel like I know the answer to this question, Timmy, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you enjoy Oil's Well That Ends Well?
Yeah, this episode was surprisingly like pretty good. Obviously, I'm kidding. This episode sucked.
God, thank you. Yes, I was worried there for a second, Timmy. Oh God, I hated this episode.
It was.
Oh.
I don't know if you're like me, but like I enjoy a good scam episode or movie or something. Like, I was so at first I was kind of on board. Like I was like, ooh, like, yeah, I want to see what the trick is gonna be, how they're gonna fool these guys and blah blah. But it was so like not interesting. The payoff was stupid. It
was
really wasn't anything good.
It was really convoluted, and honestly I feel like I knew what the twist was going to be like a minute into the episode. Like a minute into the story, I was like, she's the one who's being conned. At the end of the episode, I bet all the guys that she's conning are in this. Like I knew, I could see it. It was so obvious what the twist, because Tales from the Crypt doesn't do like, at least normally they do pretty obvious twists. They're pretty just kind of flipping the thing on the head. And in this case, she's the one who's the main con artist. She's going to get flipped, and she's the one who's being conned. Really simple. Which is funny because I feel like the episode was going for like she's like a badass and she won't take being sexist like around her, and she like beats up the guys and they present her as being all strong, and at the end it's like, nah, you get your comeuppance, no women, us men are better, and we tricked you. And I'm like, this is a weird, and sure, she then gets her comeuppance back by like setting them all on fire and killing everyone, but the whole thing was just kind of like, I have no idea what this episode's doing. It just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's weird, like looking at it from today's eyes, but it did feel like weirdly anti-woman, like because at first, like you said, like I was like, oh, right, this girl's like pretty cool, like she is, being kind of a badass and like ordering these people around, but then by the end, they kept like really hammering it home that. They're like, no, this is a 3-man job. Like, this is a job for men. This is men. Like, blah, blah, blah.
They kept doing
it.
Even the opening scene, like, I don't think, like, they have chemistry, because Lou Diamond Phillips and Priscilla Presley, they have, like, they're supposed to be, like, they've had, like, a bit of a fling as they're doing this, as Jerry and Gina. And I don't think they had any chemistry, but in the opening scene, he's saying things like to her, oh, you're a great blonde with big tits. Like, that's one of his lines. He says that. That is a line of dialogue that comes out of his mouth. And I'm just like, I get that these are all kind of seedy characters and I'm not supposed to like them very much, but at least have them, like, have some wit. I don't know, it feels like a 12-year-old wrote this.
I don't know if I missed something, but, like,
probably.
I kind of got the sense from the beginning that, like, oh, I thought these people were like partners that have been doing this for a while. Like I don't know.
No, it kind of sounded like they just met.
Hmm.
Because he kept commenting how he was surprised that she was smarter than she looked or something like that. You're
Okay.
just a bimbo. There was I mean it wasn't like heavily like detailed over and over, but it was like there was a couple of lines that kind of told you they just
Hmm.
met.
Yeah.
Um, and to go back to the weird like sexist stuff, like so Alan Ruck's in the episode who I like quite a bit. Alan Ruck's one of these like small character actors who pops up in a lot. You know, he was in Spin City for years, and he was in
Oh, okay.
Speed, and recently he was in the first season of The Exorcist. You know, he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And he goes up to like ask her out or to buy her a drink at the bar, and she basically right away says, "Give up, buddy. No chance in hell." And he turns round to like all these, I say friends, they're all like the older men, but he's hanging out with them because one of them's his dad, and he's like lesbo. He just says that, and then she grabs his crotch and beats him up a little bit for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this is the level of maturity we're working with this episode. And I'm like, I don't know. I just that's one more than a lot of the episodes feels like super dated. It feels like this is
Yeah.
super of its time, and I feel like almost no one could watch this now. I feel like even your actual like 2018 like sexist douchebag would probably watch this and go, "This feels a bit rough."
Yeah.
Like even
And
even he would feel that this is going a bit too far, indeed.
yeah. And then like you said, it's just the plan is so convoluted. Like like if you really break it down, like what is he like? All right, I'm gonna have this group of people, and first we're gonna have to go to this whole other place and pull this whole other scheme to gain this woman's trust so that we can pull another scheme
Oh yeah,
here,
well,
which is like the real scheme.
yeah. When did you? Yeah, obviously, once you find out the twist, like this has been a scheme for a long time, where they're trying to con her into being part of the con in the first place. But even the con with her itself is relatively convoluted. She comes into the bar and she acts like she's this big wig who works for an oil company, and she's found oil. And then they have like Jerry come in and he's like, oh boss, we found something, and like, oh, we can't talk. And but they sort of make it really obvious what they're talking about, so that all those characters on their own go, oh, it's oil, you found oil, don't go and tell anyone. So like, okay, we won't tell our company for a week if you like if we all chip in 5 grand, right? It's just
Yeah.
okay, that's the con, they'll get the 5 grand. And then it becomes this weird thing where they want to like her to help buy the land, and then like part of the con is that they catch him and he's been like cheating on her with the waitress, so that makes her like more angry, and they make it look like she's dead, or she kills him rather with the injection.
Mhm.
But we set up at the start that the first con was with the guy played by the Crypt Keeper is that
Mhm.
they were waking him up out the coffin after they like used something to make it look he was dead. So they'd already set
Mhm.
up that this was probably going to be fake. So it was kind of obvious that was the case.
Mhm.
And then when he wakes up, that's when they reveal, oh no, she's the one that's been played. All the guys have been on this together. And not
So-
even just the three. Not even just the three. All the old men who are part of the group
yeah.
all come together, and they're all like laughing at her as she's standing in the cemetery. And then, of course, oh, there really is oil under here. Oh, we should do something about this. And then she, sets it on fire and blows them all up.
So now, were they originally like, if there was no oil in there, were they going to kill her? Was that their original plan?
I don't even think they were going to kill her, because like if I was gun at her, but it's a blank, just to sort of like
Yeah.
joke about how she thought he was dead earlier. Um, I think it was just like, haha, you can't really get us into trouble because you were trying to con us. Like you were trying to
Okay.
like do illegal stuff anyway. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, because it seems like because I wasn't sure. It's like, well, if they're gonna kill her, like they could have done that earlier, or if they just wanted to take her money and run away, like again, like probably could have done that without having to go through like all of the like, hey, make sure to have someone in the coffin, to be buried and stuff. Like I don't know, they don't seem like they're the most well thought out scammers.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it comes down to the plot's not interesting, the plan is convoluted, and the characters, none of the characters are remotely likable, or are either likable or interesting. You can have people who are unlikable, but they can be very fascinating.
Sure.
Because it's not like you watch American Psycho and think, oh man, that Christian Bale character, he's really likable in this movie. He's not, but he's fascinating. You're interested. Like he's got charisma. He's commanding your attention. In this, they're just kind of, I don't know, going through the motions. Like I don't know. I was bored to tears throughout this entire episode. This was a bad
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it was. really wasn't good. And then, like you said at the end too, like, oh, it just happens to be, actual oil in there, which is just like, even for Tales from the Crypt, it's like, it seems like kind of a big coincidence.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, yeah, and then just to end it with the, like, the Crypt Keeper actually watching the episode and pausing it, and then, like you said, just beating you over the head with like, oh, something about this guy. It's like, yes, we get it. Like,
It's you, yeah. And here's the thing, like, just the idea that he's watching the episode and like rewinding it and pausing it and like, I'm like, it's not like they've ever like. I mean, not that I think there's like some continuity with the Crypt Keeper or some lore or mythology that we should adhere to, but it kind of feels weird that he's addressing that it's actually a TV show. If that makes any sense, it's
yeah,
just,
like, doesn't he read us a book? That's how it always starts.
it's just it's bizarre, and I guess it doesn't really matter because it's just like this little introduction and outro that the show has. It's not like I admit that it's not a big deal, but it does feel kind of weird because I immediately was like, "What's going on here?" Because right after the story ends, instead of going straight back to him, you see it like play again, but it rewinds and it's like, and then the camera pulls out and it's like him watching it, and I'm like, "This is bizarre. Like what?" This is really weird. I don't know. It struck me as odd. So, really, really, yeah, really bad episode. This sucks. Season 5 has been bad. Like, I mean, I think now this is episode 11. 11 out of 13. And how many good episodes have we had this season?
Jeez, like,
Not a lot.
a handful, if that, like maybe two or three. I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking back and I'm seeing a lot that I didn't like. I'm seeing a couple of decent ones. There's a few decent ones in the middle, but I'm seeing a lot of ones that I just flat out did not like.
Yeah, I mean, I think at bare minimum, like even like like there isn't really ones that are kind of like, oh, this wasn't great, but it was okay, or like, oh, I had this one good moment. Like, yeah, just like a lot of them have just been real downers.
I mean, this one was really bad. We really hated the Steve Buscemi one.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
That was
Forget
really
about
bad.
that. Yeah.
There was the whole husband try to kill his wife one, which I didn't hate as much as you did, but that wasn't great.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, the standouts have probably been two for the show, which was the wife murder and the Bill Paxton one.
Oh right.
But I mean, Well Cooked Hams was pretty rough. What was the one with Food for Thought? That was the one with Ernie Hudson. That was even worse than this one.
Yeah.
It's been a rough season. It's been a really rough season. But hey ho, maybe episode 12 will be the gem. It'll all be worth it because episode
Shining
12
light,
will be
yeah.
fantastic. We'll find out next week, Tim. So here we
See?
are. This has been Tales from the Crypt, season 5, episode 11. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. There's a link in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again. Keep watching Scary TV, and we'll see you next time.